Chips. Hey everyone, he's back from Shift Studios. We're back today with another tutorial for our Halloween series, and on this one we're gonna work on some volumetrics and some basic lighting. We got some terrain to cover, so let's get cracking. Okay, so here we are back in Blender, right where we left off. And for today, what we want to focus on is the basic lighting, and I want to add some more detail to our environment so we make it look more spooky. But first, we want to check those really nice chicken legs out because we didn't texture those. And we actually might have a problem with the faces that we built right here at the fit. So let's try to go right here. And if you take a closer look, some of them are overlapped since we used just one face to extrude the others. So we want to solve that right now. Let me just delete the faces that are connected, and then I basically rebuilt the topology for this part. Right, so now we have a proper build for our chicken leg. I want to recalculate the normals and they shouldn't be on the inside. Let's also shade smooth. And we can go and play around with the materials right now. So let me go here, and for the drop down I want to select the bush. We duplicate it and we call this one chicken legs. And basically we don't need any texture in here, we just want to change up the colors a bit and the orientation. So let's choose this one and let's go for a pitch black, and then for the top part I want something like maybe yellowish, or yeah, something orangey yellowish. So let's go to material preview, and as you can see the orientation is wrong, so I want to place that on the object. And right now we have a much better orientation for our leg, and you can drag that here and it already looks pretty good. I just want to drag the black a bit higher, so around this amount. Okay, that's a good look. Let me also add the outlines. And we also have to add the solidify modifier that we added for all the other assets. So let's go here and set it for -001. Let's go to the normals and the materials offset. All right, that looks pretty dope. And we can give it a bigger amount. Let's try 2. Okay, that looks good. Now what I want is basically to replicate this fit, and then I want to put it in place of the other one. So around here, and we have to match the position that we did for that one. So somewhere around here. And give it a rotation, drag it around here. Okay. So right now it's in place. Let me select the one under, and we want to delete that. And here we have 2 very nice juicy chicken legs. Okay, maybe they're a bit mutant, but that won't stop us from loving them, would it? Alright, so now we are done with the texturing part, and as I said, we want to get working on the lighting part and on some more environment detail. So let's take the house right here, and I want to block the assets out so they are not selectable. We can keep them onto the scene, be watchable, but we don't want them to be selectable. And I think what I will build right now, I'll build on the map collection. So let's go for an icosphere and let's make it bigger. And we want to drag that behind the mountains because this icosphere is actually going to be our moon. So let's get that up. And we want a really nice angle where the sphere comes from behind the mountains, but also gives a nice lighting onto the house. So we have to check that around here. We can always make it come out from the mountains. So let's shade it smooth. Let's go to materials and we can select the glowing eyes. And we need to duplicate this one and we can call it moon. All right. And let's give it an amount of, let's say 15 for now. We'll for sure adjust that later. Okay, and I want to create another icosphere, and this one is gonna be absolutely huge. And you'll see why I'm doing that in a couple of seconds. So let's drag it here, and we want the icosphere to be even more huge than the map itself. So we want to cover everything from clouds to the moon and the map. And we want to create another material, and let's call this one fog. We can get rid of the principled BSDF because we'll be replacing it with a principled volume shader. We can drag that in here, take it to the volume instead of the surface. And right now we have a really thick fog. So let's go to the render view, and I want to drag the amount really low to something like 0.1. Okay, now you can see better how our lighting works. Let's go for something like 0.04. And right now you can see the map. So I want to add here a texture, a Musgrave one, and let's drag that into the color. And right now you can't see much, but let me just work around those a bit. So let's go for a better scale, and right now you start to see some more details coming in. We want to give a texture to the fog so that we create a really nice environment, and we can give it a color if you want, or you can just use the lighting for that. Okay, the clouds are looking pretty dark right now. Let me just make those selectable again. Oops, not the grass. So I want to make the clouds selectable. And I want to play around here with the transparency. Okay, now they reflect some light and they are visible. So I think this like 0.2 or maybe 0.15 would be a good amount. We can also play with the transmission a bit. Okay, now we got that covered, and I want to go to view and I want to press camera to view. And right now, whenever we go through the viewport, like the camera will follow our view. So as you can see, I'm playing around with the camera by switching up the view. So I want, let's say this shot, this camera shot, I want to take it. And you actually have to stop if you want to place the camera into a certain shot, then you have to stop overall and unclick the camera to view. But right now I just want to keep running a bit around with the camera. So maybe around here, let's say, that would be a good place to put our camera. Okay, so let's drop it here and uncheck this one. And right now we have a really nice view overall of our scene, and we can get working on the details right now. So let's select the camera and let's go for viewport display. And if you want, you can take the pass par 2 up. If you get it up to 1, then you'll have pitch black onto the parts that are not gonna be seen into the render. Let's play around with the light a bit, and we want to see how the lighting reacts. So let's turn this one into an area light instead of a point. And let's give it an angle. So something like this maybe. You can drag it here. So maybe to the side. Oh, okay, that's a good place. And let's take this to around 4000. And as you can see, we already have some changes into the fog. So let's give this a color. That's way too saturated. So let's go for something like that. Something that seems like really eerie. So we can go for a teal or maybe some kind of dark blue. And we can also activate contact shadows if you want. So that will make the light generate some shadows onto the object that it touches. If not, you can just keep it as it is. So be careful that it does eat away at your processor or your GPU when you render. Take that in mind. So you have to take that into account. All right. Now I want to create a spotlight, and I'd like to actually highlight a bit the part where the ritual will take place. So let me just drag that in here, and I want to set it up so that it lights the way from the house to the ritual site. So let's move it around here and drag it around here. Okay, that's a good orientation right now. Now I want to select map and the pasture, and let me play around with those a bit more since I'm not satisfied with the shadows going on. So let's drag that to around here, and now we have some nice shadow that drops onto the map. And you can move that to the amount that you like, and you can also make the shadow softer or harder depending on what you want to achieve. Okay. Now we can do the same here, and as you can see, we add some more detail, or we can take some out. So let's drag the light down to around here. I'm just adjusting stuff so that I get a really nice shading for the shadows and the lights. So I don't want our scene to be covered in whole shadows, but I also don't want it to look really weird, so like incomplete. Let me just get the river a bit more transparent. And I want to give it a bit more glow. I'm moving around the glossy. So I'll do some adjustments and then we'll see what's next. Okay, now we have a nice layout, but what I want right now is I think I'll give some more lighting for the moon. So I want to create an area light and I want to drag it right in front of the moon. And we'll be using the same color that the moon has and then give it some more area dispersion if you want. So I'll just drag the light right here in front of the moon. And as you can see, I want to point that directly towards the house so that we get some really nice shading around the house itself. So let me select the color from here and I want to drag it here to the area. And let's take the power up to, let's say, 4000. Okay, that's some nice shading going on in there. So I'll also activate the contact shadows so that it reflects and it creates some shadows with the house. And right now I want to make some more adjustments, and I'll think I'll also add another light right in the middle of the map, and this one would be a neutral white. So I just want that to be something like a central light going on besides the blue one and the highlight. Now we can play around a bit more with the camera and get a better view for that. And yep, that's a really nice angle that I like. So we'll keep it as that. Okay, so that is it for today. We are finished up with our environment, basic lighting, and the fog that we wanted to add. On to the next chapter, we'll be focusing on the rigging of the overall scene. And if you enjoyed it, please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you there. Bye.